Welcome back to PCM Yeti. It's episode 84. It's Moment of Truth. It's August the 1st. It's signing day. We have a new sponsor for the year. I also just finished the process about 72 hours ago, going through and preparing the last third, or really the last 2.5 months of the season for the team. And then turning around just over a day later and having Zayat get a fractured rib in training because he was not involved in a race. So Zayat goes down, which throws a bit of a wrench into the planning I just did, because he was amongst those who was going to be at La Vuelta. The real thing we're here for is the big signing special. And of course, was it worth it? Was it not worth it to sabotage Hagland? Here's the thing on that one. Sorry to those who have come out and expressed frustration in the comments. There was a full day of discussion about it. I was very reluctant, didn't want to do it, hadn't done anything about it. There was no comments on that episode until one came out while I was in the middle of recording that next episode and had already committed to it. No additional follow-up comments until I actually really got into the deeper part of the tour. There's 4 episodes for that one. Definite frustration from some of you at the end of that, and I get it. Frustration from me as well. It's not something I wanted to do. The reality of the situation, I dropped Hagland from 4th to, 14th, 15th? What did it actually hurt? We know in the back of our minds that we secured 4th place. What did we secure by losing those positions? I cost the team about 600 points, 700 points, was it? That's not hurting the team. I cost Hagland some individual points. He's got more than enough for his nation to see a training boost, and those 600 points weren't going to make any difference on whether we're going to get that or not. It's going to be a roll of the dice whether we get it, period. So I didn't hurt the team, didn't hurt the nation, but I did hurt Hagland's popularity. And for that, we might actually still have a chance at signing him. He's got 100% interest. It's just he's got a lot of quality. Well, let's get into crunching the numbers and see how much budget we have to work with. First, the raw numbers. With the new sponsor, we will make $100,500 each month. So we have $100K to work with. The existing salary for the 11 returning riders is going to be $53,300, giving me a grand total of $47,200 per month to spend. I have 5 expiring contracts. Realistically, we should be growing the roster because I'm going to have a couple times here down the stretch where I have 3 races happening simultaneously, and I can't field a team for all 3 races. I'd rather have that situation persist and have that complication come along 2, 3, 4 times a year than not be able to sign Hagland. Ideally, we desperately want to keep Hagland within the roster, but we do have that, decent amount of money coming off the books. I mean, we've got 25K or so coming off the books, freeing up that with the pay raise. 47,000 is a decent amount. It definitely is going to give us a chance at signing Hagland. I do think he's going to probably be 30K minimum signing wise, and probably quite a bit more. I mean, he could easily be 60K, but with the 100% interest and the discount that we might get, there's certainly a chance. 30K would not be too much for a couple reasons. One, Derek G is going to have an expiring contract the next year. We're going to get an increase. There's going to be more money to play with a year from now. And if we can squeeze in a world tour with a small roster, I'm good with that. For one, there's going to be a lot more prize money. We've been stable on the finances this season, pushing it right to the limit. There's going to be more prize money in world tour, so we would be fine going literally right to the maximum. If I can sign 4 guys on minimum, that's 10K. I've got 47 to play with. So if I can sign Hagland for 37 or less, or 40, really, 40 or less, it's going to be okay. I'm not going to sign any deals until I have a full picture of what's ahead of me and what my options are. But let me begin with the simple contracts. The 3 really good prospects that I think I should be able to get on minimum or very close to it. So we've got that kind of fallback to couple with Haglund already shaping up. So for the first time, scouting has actually produced somebody good, and we've got him on a minimum contract potentially. 3-star current, 5.5-star potential, mostly in the sprint category. While he won't be a great climber, he's not going to be a horrible one, and he's going to have at least a little bit of punch, cobble rating, and certainly a good flat rating to go with it. He's already got a 73 resistance, and at just 18, he's going to fly through a handful of levels in the next season, and as a 3-star guy, would be pretty good. I did a 2-year contract initially. He'll actually be pretty good at the end of 2 years. I would think the 3rd year is where he's going to get like crazy good. He'll expect more money, 5K, 6K, I think, in a couple of years. But if we have better finances by that point, signing him to then a 3-year deal, 5-year would be really good for this guy. There's one minimum contract. As we jump into the dossiers for the first time, the 4 guys that did not get to 100% are all the other 5-star guys to go with Haglund. So Haglund really is our best shot at signing somebody because he's got that 100% interest and we're going to get a discount. That discount can make a difference of 8 to 10K quite easily. And because he has not been on a world tour team, unlike all these other guys, Tadome is kind of the other one that we might actually have a shot at because lower dossier points, not coming from a world tour team, we've got a definite chance. But Vashek, Miholjevic, Germay have spent many years on world tour teams and are going to have higher salary expectations baseline. So Tadome and Haglund are really my best shot at getting one of those guys signed. Everybody else is 4 stars or less. But as the other 5.5-star prospect, Frisalam? Yes, that's got to be right. We're looking at big time mountain rating for him. Good GC with a decent time trial. We're looking at a future elite climber. Just 19 years of age, already has the punchy side going. He'll have to grow into that mountain side. And he is coming off of a development team contract. Dossier points are starting to get a lot cheaper. In fact, I had leftovers at the end of this one. So I'm going to do the 1-year deal. He's already a 3.5-star guy. He's going to get better. He's probably going to hit 4 stars this year. If I do a 2-year contract, he's probably going to be looking at more than 10K at the end of that. And if I do the 3-year contract, well, that might be the safer bet. We're going to go the safety route on this one and at least hope that finances are better. He does sign for the minimum, so there's 2 big-time prospects on minimum contracts. For the third and at least final for the moment, the automatic guys that I'd really like to get among prospects. This is a 4-star current, 5-star potential with sprint, very good cobble rating, very good flat rating, and actually has a bit of punchiness, time trialing. This is going to be a pretty well-rounded sprinter, and he's definitely pushing into the higher category. Even though it's only 5-star, he's got to be maybe 1 point lower than what Christopher Young would have been eclipsing to, with a bit more well-rounded in so many other places. That's going to make them a pretty strong combo. He's also already looking a bit better. It's going to be harder to get the minimum contract on this one, though, with the 4-star current, 75 flat, 72 cobble, 77 stamina, 73 recovery. This is somebody who could begin to contribute right away. He is also 21 already. But coming off a development team, we might be able to get him for at least near minimum, and it's looking like it's going to be slightly above minimum. I'm going to drop that down and see if we can get him. Luxury teammates fine for me. Yeah, there you go. 2.7, 200. And guess what? We had the 47.2. There's the 0.2. That's 3 guys at 7,700. That leaves me with 39.5. I could just about do Haglund plus those 3 and call it good. I have 5 expiring contracts. That would be 4 riders. That would decrease the roster size by 1. And yes, that is too low. But it's only 1 less than what I have now. I could manage that for a year. I really could. So I could stretch all the way to a 39.5 for Haglund. I don't want to look yet, though. I'm still nervous about it. For now, I'm going to start going in reverse order of importance. Ponemar, the most likely not to bother re-signing. He's at his maximum. He's got nothing left. Yeah, he's a little punchy. He's a little bit well-rounded. Not terribly useful. I'm already kind of going, why should I bother? But it's only 2 points to talk to him and see, can we get him in kind of that minimum territory? I'm kind of happy with 2 years because 28 is going to be, yeah. Let's see if he'll sign for that little bit less. 31. All right, so 36 is minimum. That's less than what he's making now. That's a baby. I certainly wouldn't rule it out. Pickrell's next. I only just slightly want to retain him just that little bit more than Panamar. He's not a good climber, but he's a little punchy with a 70. He's a bit of a sprinter. He's got that 74 couple rating, though. That and his 76 flat are the two biggest factors for me, along with some decent stamina and resistance. And while Panamar has snowballed for us one time in his career, Pickrell, 0 snowballs. He does have 14 career victories, and I think a lot of that's going to be down to some national championships. Yeah, he's twice won the national championship, 24 and 28. He's won a couple of low-level classics back in 27. But this year he did get 2 third places on stages at the Giro, a 4th place and a 5th place. He had a pretty good Giro, but he's not winning anything. Good team member, good to have. I like him, but he's already 27. He's going to start getting worse. He's nearly maxed out, but I think he's going to go the opposite direction relatively soon. Definitely not worth it for 10,000, but I'm guessing he's going to ask a lot less than that, and he is. He's not a big fan of 1 year. Let's see what 2 years can do, and if 4-3 would be a thing. And not even close. Oh, not even. I'm not even going to bother. Okay, I will. I'll bother. 5-3. I don't think that one's going to happen. I think Panamar is more likely than Pickrell at this stage. For Abdullah, looking back at his growth chart, 10 times he's leveled up already out of 20. So he's definitely into the later stage of his career where things are slowing down. But he's definitely got room for growth. He is 25 already, but he seems to be a little bit of that late bloomer. He leveled up twice last year. He has leveled up once this year, very early on in the year, somewhere around that February or March mark. He's due for another level up in the near future, but he's got a long ways to go before he actually reaches his peak. What are we doing training-wise? Training him as a climber, and he's getting closer on that, but 76 Hills is really all he's got, and he's definitely got some quality. I had him down as I 99% want to retain him, but looking at the fact that he's already leveled up 10 times and what's left of this, I mean, he's a 4-star guy who's going to be a 4-star guy. He's just got, 4 more points for Mountain, 1 to 2 more points for Hills. He's going to be a 76, 78. It's not bad. It's not bad, but we're talking he should be a minimum contract to hang on to. Okay, he doesn't like teammate, but we can try luxury teammate. He's already not a fan of the 3600, but we'll give it a shot. Hates the salary. We're close. 3600 would do it. So that gives me 2 existing riders. I don't think Pickrell's going to happen at 5K, but Abdullah's an option, and both of them are 1K over minimum and give us help and support here and now in the coming seasons. Something you want to have, but not necessarily something we have to have. So that brings me back to the dossiers for now. I think realistically we're looking at, a Panamar and or Abdullah combination of like 7.2K if other things don't happen, which would mean I'd still have over 30K to sign one of the big name riders, and then those 2 guys, and then 3 prospects. That's 6. 5 outgoing, 6 in would be fantastic. So if I can get any of the big names in that range of about 30K, then we're golden. Moment of truth, though, not for Hagland. I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to start actually with Vasek, Mihaljevic, and Girmay before. You know what? Let's start with Girmay. I think Girmay is the most unrealistic of them. And then Mihaljevic, then Vasek. So I'll kind of go in the order of most unrealistic to the one I'm most hopeful 4 and see where we're at. Now remember, these next 4 guys are all moderate interest. Gurmai already declining just a little bit. 29 years of age. He's already lost a few points. We're not going to want a long contract, but somehow Intermarché have him on a 22K contract, which is crazy. 78 for the current sprint, 78 for the resistance. Puts him kind of right in the wheelhouse of what we already have. The big difference is he's punchy and can handle those classics. 24.8 is the starting asking price. Now I know that won't happen, but this does mean I haven't signed a deal with him. Okay, I haven't signed a deal with him, and I know I'm gonna have to bump it up because the moderate attractiveness. This tells me that it's going to be very possible that we are going to get one of these 5 guys, and then it's not going to be a settle for that combo of Panamar, Pickrell, Abdullah, and 3 prospects, and then save the money for next year. He wants a 3-year contract, though. That's a worry. He's 29 and starting to decline. Cobble rating, especially if I'm losing Pickrell. How bad's that fall? I'm going to try. I'm going to keep him at the 3 years. I don't think he's going to want to sign for this with the interest being down. So let's bump him to 27 to 26 to start. We're going to have to get him into the green, and that one's not going to help. And that's what I knew we were kind of dealing with. 30. Still not even green. Oof. And only one more chance. This is kind of the worrying part here. Getting him into the green is going to help. It's going to get a boost, but I think we're looking at least a healthy bump, and that still didn't do it. Got him in the green. This is what yellow interest does, folks. We get him happy, and we still fail. 34,800, and we still fail. But imagine if Haglund accepts something in this range. It's done deal. So no Gurmai, but we got close. Maholjevic, 26. He's still actually quite young. 5-star current. 5-star time trial, that's his strength, but he's pretty well-rounded. He's strong in a lot of areas, except for that top speed's not great, but he's a 70 plus everywhere else. He can climb decently, good time trial, he can win some time trials here or there, rarely. Good stamina, good acceleration on his day. We could make him a puncher. 19.2 is the baseline for him. He's not a fan of 1 year, neither am I. I'm a bigger fan of 3 years. I know we got to bump him up, but it's looking good. Let's go with 24. Look how close we are. 26. Deal. 26-2. Now it's guaranteed. Now it is happening. Maholjevic, the guy who I thought second least likely, has agreed to a deal. There's enough money in play here. I just looked. Maholjevic and 26-2 plus Pickrell, Abdullah, Panamar, and the 3 prospects. Adds up just barely. We come in just under, like 250, under max. So potentially we could take 7 guys with Maholjevic heading that crew, giving us another 5-star. Still want Haglund though. Vashek, 27, current 5-star, way more well-rounded than Maholjevic, but also time trial. That's his strength too. Could lower his demands. Right now he's on a 22K contract. If we can get him, I think he's a better option than Maholjevic. Better climber, better sprinter, good cobble, has the time trial, crazy good prologue, which means he could actually go win something. He could help us snowball in multiple ways. Very well-rounded rider. 17.6, 3 years, 21.6. Oh my goodness. We'll go 24.6. Got him. This is going better than planned, folks. I've already crossed Maholjevic off my list because Vashek is asking for less and offers more. Tadome, 27, 5-star, 78 mountain and medium mountain, and still has a little bit room left to grow. 72 hills isn't great, but that's a strong climber. And if we're going to have GC hopes, right now I have Haddad in support. A Tadome would make a big difference on what we could do with our GC leader. Current 23K, how things are going, I'm optimistic that we can get him in that 24 to 26 range as well. Okay, 3-year deal. Important rider, bump him up. 4 chances, so I'll start at 20. Close. 22, still close. 24. One more. 25-4. Okay. Definitely an option. I'll have to compare those two. None of this matters if Hagland asks for a reasonable amount. And finally, the real moment of truth. 22-year-old Edvin Hagland has done so much and yet hasn't, right? He's been to 4 monuments. He's been to a Grand Tour. He's only got 12 career victories. He's not taken the world by storm. He's 21st in the world rankings as a Continental Pro guy. Right now, I'd compare him to somebody like Guillaume Martin. Most of his career, Continental Pro, young up-and-comer, talented. You could see it, you could recognize it, but he's not winning at the highest levels yet. He's still on the proving himself stage. Now, age-wise, things are more in favor of Hagland than they are of Guillaume Martin. I'd say kind of similar mold, right? Good climber, probably a little bit more in there. If you put him on a major team and they support him, it might be a different matter, and he pushes up a little bit higher. He's a guy who's in or around the top 10 without any team support. Hagland, a guy who quietly did a little bit more than that, but gosh, he just finished 14th at the Tour de France. Fingers crossed. 52K. Oh, man. The 5.5 star. That half star has killed us. Half star has killed us. There's no way he is going to sign. Now that I can push this downward because of the interest level, but I can't get it. 47.2 is the max. That's all I can offer is 47. Let me push at least a hair below that. We'll try 44. He'll sign. We're at 100% if I can get him into the yellow. If I can get him into the yellow on the salary, he will sign. I get 2 chances at this, so I'll try 46, and then I'll have to go to 47. We can't take Hagland and no one else. We've got to have at least 3 guys on a minimum contract coming back, because we've got to be able to do at least 2 races simultaneously. So 47, last chance. Oh, holy crap. Oh, I got a decision to make. 47K. He took it. 47 freaking K. Right on the limit. Here's the verdict. Although I got really excited about the prospect of signing Hagland and the fact that we made it in under the budget limitations. We didn't really make it in under the budget limitations. We made it for all but $200 going 100% to Hagland and not being able to sign anyone else. Had I been able to get that down to even just 42,000, with 5K I could have signed 2 prospects to go alongside him. I could have had a bare minimum squad of 14 riders. It's too much. As much as I am desperate to keep Hagland, it's too much. I'm not going to re-sign Hagland. Destroy the team in all other sense and purposes. Plus, I mean, he's only snowballed twice out of all of this. He's got a profile that he competes against the best of the best in the world. And while he can compete with them, and while he can score a top 5, he's not getting wins anywhere in those scenarios. Could I have put him in a breakaway instead and gotten that win? Probably still no, because he would have been in the breakaway, considered a threat, and they would have chased him down. He's too good, while simultaneously not being good enough. 47K, I'm so excited that we got it within the range, but not really close enough. We're going to have to pass. We're going to have to go with one of the other options for the sake of the team. Which also means World Tour is probably out for next year, and we're probably still going to be in Continental Pro. The 100% mattered, though. I got a 5K discount on Hagland. He asked 52. We signed him for 47. At the same time, Vasek, Miholjevic, and Tadome all required 7K more than what they were asking to get him across that line. That's a 12K swing. It's up 7K. That's down 5K. Girmay was up 10K and still didn't even sign. It looks like it would have taken maybe 12 or 13K to get him over the line, maybe even 14. Getting that interest level to 100% makes a huge difference. And it did. Almost made enough difference to justify signing Haglund. Technically, we got him signable, but we just can't justify that money and the literally getting rid of everybody else. So the prospect, the option that I'm going to go with, I'm going to take the 3 prospects, but then I've got to make that decision between Tadome and between Vasek. Haglund is our best climber. 79-79. This is recent. He didn't have it before, but he's not winning anything with this. Losing him, Haddad's our best climber. He's a 75-78. He's not winning for us either. He unlocked Japan for us, but it was on a punchy stage. So he's snowballed for us once. Tadome only has a little bit left climbing rating. The 78-78. He is very much Haglund without the punchiness, without the time trialing. He's pretty similar to Haddad, though he's got a pure mountain rating that's a little bit better and the hills that's a little bit better. He does have a little acceleration. Tadome would be a good pickup. He really would. But not only is Vasek asking for 1K less, he is so well-rounded. This is the type of rider that I can squeeze out win after win after win. Climbing-wise, mountain and medium mountain is almost identical to Haddad, but he's much punchier. He's also much faster pure pace, which can be that finish you need to push a third into a first. But he's also a good time trialist who's an excellent prologuer, who's got good stamina, good flat, good everything. He is so well-rounded, even though he's not dominant anywhere besides, I guess, maybe prologue. Vasek gives us so many different ways to win, and where the other guys, Tadome, Haddad, Haglund, the pure climbing, you can't beat Vingegaard and Pogacar and the half a dozen other 80 plus, 82, 83 plus mountain rated guys. The ratings are just so much higher. You can beat 1 or 2 of them in a day. You can consistently beat 2/3 of them, but you can't beat all of them virtually ever. Where in other scenarios, other profiles, punchy ones in particular, where this type of rating gives us many chances to snowball again and again and again, even at a place like the Tour de France. It hurts GC contention, but Vasek gives us the most options, and he comes in, of our 3 guys, the cheapest. 20K under Haglund, meaning that we get the 3 prospects, and we get Panerar, and we get Abdullah. Whether I want Pickrell or not becomes kind of the final decision. I've got a 74 cobble here in Vasek to replace Pickrell. Do I want to spend 5K on Pickrell, or do I want to save that money? As for that final decision of whether to take Pickrell or not, he's going from a 10.8K monthly salary. We're literally cutting that in half. With a sprint and cobble rating and flat rating, he does do a lot for our team. It's a 2-year deal. I'm going to go ahead and sign it. And so with just 2 riders out and 4 riders coming in their place, we're going to grow from 16 to 18. And we're going to stay with a very similar profile to what we have now, but realistically, we're also dropping just a little bit from where we are at this moment being Haglund. Where we were last season, we're going from 3 5-star guys to 3 5-star guys. No, we're not. We had 2 5-star guys, right? And that got us into this level. We now have 3 5-star guys, so we're actually better than we were at the end of last season. But I don't like our odds. It may happen, but I don't like our odds of making World Tour just yet. Comfortable for Continental Pro, no problem there. Closer to World Tour than we were, but I think we might come up just short. We were probably 4th or 5th best Continental Pro team at the signing period last year. I think we're going to be up around 1st or 2nd. I think we might be just short. For now, it's 17th. Vasek does come in as the team's best rider ahead of Lind and Shaw, though. And I'm definitely looking forward to a few new big prospects that have high potential, 5 to 5.5 stars for each of them. And young, and give us, maybe the next Haglund, at least total quality wise, not necessarily in the same mold. That's going to do it for this episode. We're definitely heading in a different direction, away from the GC and a little bit more towards time trialing being a real strong suit of us, a little better in the cobble rating. We're going to be more balanced as a roster next year. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there.